Back for more Scrapbook. Um, Sports World halts activities. MLB, Major League Baseball, postpones entire schedule for first time in 57 years. Hmm. So this was because of the September 11th terrorist attacks that Major League Baseball was postponed. They postponed their entire schedule for the first time in 57 years. So I'm going to skip that one because I wasn't really a big baseball fan at the time. Still, I really never was. I collected a lot of baseball cards when I was younger, but it was just for uh, the hobby of it. It wasn't like because I was a huge fan of baseball. But that sounds like a big deal there. Um, so NFL, I follow the NFL. That's what I was a fan of at the time. NFL Packers wait on this weekend's games. The NFL will decide today or Thursday whether it will cancel its 15 scheduled games this week in the aftermath of Tuesday's terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center in New York and the Pentagon in Washington. The Green Bay Packers are scheduled to play Sunday against the New York Giants at Giants Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, which is across the Hudson River and about 15 miles from where two hijacked commercial airplanes crashed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center on Tuesday morning. In addition, the Washington Redskins are scheduled to play host to Arizona on Sunday, the only NFL team not scheduled to play Sunday or Monday is the San Diego Chargers, who have a bye. Regarding Sunday's games, we will make no uh, decision. We will make no decision today, NFL spokesman Joe Brown said in a statement released by the league late Tuesday morning. We'll gather information and speak to several parties within the next 24 to 48 hours. The league offices, which are located about 2 miles from the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan, were evacuated and closed after the attack. The NFL notified teams Tuesday afternoon that it will reopen on a limited basis today and expects to be fully operational on Thursday. Everyone is waiting to get more information about what happened and waiting for the league office to tell us what direction to take. Packers senior vice president of administration John Jones said, certainly for a team that will be playing in New York, we would have an even more heightened level of responsibility if the league decided to move forward. One league source said NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue likely will take his cue from President Bush before making a decision. I can't imagine having anybody play, another league source said. Packers president Bob Harlan said he called the league office, but that little information was available. Harlan said he didn't think the league would move Sunday's game to Green Bay. Packers coach and general manager Mike Sherman declined comment when reached at his office in Tuesday, but Packers associate director of public relations Jeff Blum said the team would go about its regular Wednesday schedule today. The league and then Commissioner Pete Rozelle were heavily criticized in 1963 when a full schedule of games was played 2 days after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Pete Rozelle always said that was his greatest regret, playing that weekend said Harlan, who was working as a sports information director at Marquette University at the time. Meanwhile, NFL officials, executives, coaches, and players were like most people Tuesday trying to find out if family members and friends are safe. Jones, for example, received a reassuring call from his 26-year-old daughter, Sarah, who is a graduate of NYU Law School and a second year associate attorney at the New York offices of Morgan Lewis Bacchius law firm. Having lived and worked in New York and been to the World Trade Center so many times, I can't conceive what has happened, said Jones, who spent 10 years working at the league offices. Whatever you see on TV, it's 100 times worse. I'm kind of numb. That's one thing that's hard to imagine. Like for people that live in the area over there, the New York area, and for people like for the people that uh, go by the building, like that's the routine. They go by the building. It's always there. The buildings, the World Trade Center buildings, like it's always there. It's like uh, it's hard to imagine. And like for people that had been in the building, to have been in a building that was uh, destroyed like this, where all these people died, and like for people that worked there, what it was like for them. People that worked there in the past that no longer work there, that is. People that lived through this. People that worked there and like maybe they called in sick that day. Their life was saved by being sick, or they were not there for whatever reason. Maybe they were on vacation. Interesting. On a lighter note, Garfield. Back to Garfield here. All right, I'm going to show it first, and then I'll read what was in the bubbles. So maybe that was long enough to actually read it yourself, or you could pause it. So this is what it. Okay, Garfield. This is John Arbuckle talking to Garfield. John Arbuckle is saying, "Mrs. Feeney's little dog is missing again." This is John Arbuckle continuing to talk to Garfield, pointing his finger at Garfield. "And all those stamps I bought yesterday are gone, not to mention a box and some twine." And then Garfield's response in his thought bubble: "Take your time, it'll come to you." I don't know about that one. I don't really get that one. I don't get the humor in this one here. Hmm. I don't know. I'm not laughing. I am not laughing. Take your time. It'll come to you. Okay. Oh, this is different. McCaffrey, Ed McCaffrey. I hated that guy. He was a Denver Bronco. The Denver Broncos that beat the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl that one year. There he is. Ah, Ed McCaffrey to miss rest of season. Good. Good. Um, Here's a little something. Officials: no talks are scheduled in the near future in the dispute between the NFL and its locked-out officials. Replacement officials are scheduled to work this weekend's games, the second week of the regular season and the third week with replacement officials. The NFL closed its offices after the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center. Negotiators for the sides met Monday, but both NFL spokesman Greg Aiello and union negotiator Tom Condon said they were too far apart to resume talks. Last week, the NFL retracted its offer of a 60% increase in the first year and is now offering a 20% increase this season. The officials are seeking doubled to tripled salaries immediately. Yep, I remember that when there were replacement officials. There were some controversial calls during that time period. Yeah. Finally, here's a couple bushes. I remember thinking at the time it was really neat that there was a father's son, a president, and then another president, a father son combination thing there. I thought it was kind of neat. A neat moment in history where a father and a son were both president. Um, 43rd and 41st. President-elect George W. Bush left, and his father, former President George Bush, watched ceremonies before the start of a football game last year in College Station, Texas. The younger Bush offered a conciliatory message to Washington and the nation Wednesday night after Vice President Al Gore conceded the presidential election, making the Texas governor the 43rd president of the United States. Alright, I guess I'll stop there. I'm almost done with this binder, this scrapbook binder, but then I have this other one here. I'm all out of vegetables, so I just have grains and legumes and my fruit. My fruit is getting kind of low, but I still have a bunch of dates in the freezer. Uh, the farro that I made was kind of chewy, not that good. It is okay, but yeah, I couldn't even finish it. I had to put the rest in the fridge for my lunch. I couldn't finish my lunch. Um, I'm to in like a half an hour. I'm having my nice cream of I this morning I blended up some strawberry, and when I put it in the container, it wasn't very full in the container. So it's pureed strawberry and dates, and then because there wasn't enough in the container, on top of the strawberry and date puree, I put a couple bananas and I mashed it up. So I put that in the freezer for a couple hours. So I'm going to be having that. Some strawberry, date, and banana nice cream, which should be delicious. Okay,